Alrighty, folks, it is time for the first match of the Curators Cube inaugural tournament. Up against All Who Wander here, we have a moment, and I wanted to kind of catch up with everybody because the draft video that you just watched prior to this one, hopefully, if not, should be the video just before this one on the YouTube page, and I will link it in the description as well, just so that way you have that resource to check back to. That draft video was 8 days ago to me. It was like roughly in the middle of the day, and it is roughly towards the end of the day now. As of where I'm at, the Tuesday following that draft, I participated in 5 out of the 7 days, um, and ultimately just decided to go with the first deck that I drafted because I felt like it was far and away the most powerful of these decks. Not to say that the other decks I drafted weren't good. There were definitely some decks that I think had the potential to do more exciting, potentially even more powerful things, but I ultimately wanted to go with a deck that I figured was going to be more likely to actually have some game against the field. Because one of the things that I think is going to be very, very common to have happen in this cube is board stalls. And I suspect this cube is going to be very much the board mattering most. So the goal here was let's try and put some things together to go in a direction to be ready to fight for the board. So we're a very creature dense deck, 16 creatures and 7 non-creature spells. Lots of 2s, 3s, and 4s. Lots of 3s and 4s specifically. We've got Alcadia Cardinal Judge, Bacillo Lion of Valor, Bringer of Heliod's Light, Data Weaver, Evaldi Genesis of Hope, Evelyn Snakewood Dark Druid, Kyneos Bladebound, Lost Resistor, Queen and Darley the Fierce, Rulha the Aberrant, Silversong Ancient, Stoic Sentinel, Survivors of the New World, Symbol of the Revolution, Tenacious Snapvines, and Vengeful Ice Mage. So a lot of these creatures are like pretty solid mid-rangey pieces. We've got things that can help us spend some extra mana, like Vengeful Ice Mage and Lost Resistor. We've got some things that can help us develop our mana, like Evaldi, Evelyn Snakewood, Stoic Sentinel. We've got things that come up the board really effectively. Tenacious Snapvines comes to mind. Survivors of the New World. Queen and Darley the Fierce helps us punch through a little bit and also just makes our creatures much more resilient to larger threats. So we've got a pretty solid base here. We have some engines to work with. We have Data Weaver and Evaldi. Evaldi can pick up our Data Weaver, so we can just start shredding our opponent's library. We can use Evaldi and pick up Survivors of the New World, pick up Vengeful Ice Mage, and change what we have exiled. We can pick up and just constantly recast Silversong Ancient. That's also true of the Vengeful Ice Mage flickers, where we can flicker these things as well. Reset Silversong Ancient, reset Data Weaver, reset Lost Resistor. We can Cyber Soul it, make a bunch of 3/1s, then pick it back up or flicker it, and then keep doing it to keep making a wider and wider board. But yeah, so this is kind of going to be just sort of a like solid mid-range strategy. We're just trying to get on board as quickly as possible. But I'm calling this deck more of like a mid-ramp deck because we do have some incentives to go higher up on the mana curve. We have Explore joining Evelyn Snakewood and Stoic Sentinel as 2-mana ramp sources. Ideally, we want to have Evelyn or Stoic Sentinel if we can, but Explorer also does some nice things if we can get it to line up with an extra land in our hand. Weaving of the World is very good at helping us develop a lot of mana. The turn we play this, we go get a basic from our deck, put it into play. Following turn, we can put another basic from our deck into play, as well as the land we might have had in hand. And then we're untapping the turn afterwards. If we play this on turn 4, turn 5 we develop 2 lands, and then we developed a second land on turn 4. Turn 6 we untap with 7 lands, gain 7. It's pretty good. And that's if we cast Weaving of the World off of 4 lands. There's also the possibility we cast it off of an Evelyn Snakewood or a Stoic Sentinel and gain 6 life, have 6 lands in play on turn 5. And it's also possible that we have 7 lands on turn 5 if we explore into Weaving. So, kind of just this like base ramp shell Going into a couple other enchantments, we have Defile the Silver Court to generate more threats on the board, help us punch through even more consistently. Revolutionary Class can provide us some value off of some of our smaller creatures. We have 1 with Bacillo, 2 Data Weaver, 3 on Evelyn, 4 on Kyneos, 5 on Andarli, 6 on Stoic Sentinel, 7 on Survivors, 8 on Symbol, and that is it. So half of our creatures trigger Revolutionary Class to let us pay 1 and draw a card. And again, because we have Vengeful Ice Mage and we have Evaldi, we can potentially get more value out of those creatures with Revolutionary Class. Also very nice is we can level it up for not too much mana to start building up counters on our creatures. That can be very good to help us punch through more reliably. And then, of course, Revolutionary Class also gets to act as removal, which is very nice. That is coupled with Drift Off, which is another solid removal spell. Vibrant Vengeance, which is a nice small sweeper that can also double up our mana, make us more capable of casting a bunch of spells or activating Vengeful Ice Mage a lot, pumping a bunch of mana into Symbol of the Revolution, pumping a bunch of mana into Lost Resistor, pumping a bunch of mana into flipping Alcadia. And then we also have Glauna, Decadent Demon, as a tool to pick off a creature and then potentially still get some extra value. This is not a great Glauna deck, admittedly. There are a lot of decks that are probably better uses for Glauna. But, you know, we can draw off of Defile the Silver Court. We can draw off of Revolutionary Class. We gain life off of Weaving of the World, draw off of Explore. Bacillo can gain us life. Lost Resistor has the potential to gain us life when it's flipped, gain us a bunch of life if our board gets wiped, potentially, or if we just like attack with a bunch of things and a bunch of things die, gain life off of Silversong Ancient, potentially. Can gain life off of Symbol of Revolution or Tenacious Snapvines. So it's not impossible for Glauna to indulge and get some counters back. We even have all 3 on-colored Dormant lands, which we can crack to draw a card later on in the game, and those can also be good for Glauna, but... yeah, for the most part, we're just kind of in here on using Glauna as a removal spell that makes a 2/1 the following turn. We're not really looking to keep Glauna around and like try and greed out the Indulgence trigger, I think. So yeah, not too much going on in our sideboard. We have Ozonwood Huntsman if we want to just bring in a more like stompy 3-drop over something that's more value oriented. We could bring in Florina to try and get some more value out of our smaller creatures as they die. That would probably come coupled with us boarding in Crafty Informant Binding Whisper to give us more turn 1 plays if we deem it necessary. If we really feel it necessary, we have a board wipe in the sideboard in All Is Dust. So we've got a couple of things we can board in, but I don't expect there to be too much sideboarding. And our opponent is here. So we're about to get into the games. So as I understand it, there is going to be no top cut for this tournament. It is just Swiss matches until there is 1 player left standing undefeated. Very happy to win the die roll here. After losing the die roll all GP, it is nice to get to play first. Symbol into Bacillo. Symbol with, like, this is our only white source, so we can't play the Symbol on 1. Into Bacillo as a card that requires double white, and we do not have double white. And then Lost Resistor is a little awkward, but I think we can still work with it. We can just lead on Evelyn on Carcinell into Swamp Evelyn Snakewood. Not too inclined to mulligan if I can help it. We'll find extra sources for Bacillo. Just a little awkward that right now we are lacking the second white. But that'll change. Alrighty, opponent kept. We're gonna lead on Carcinell and pass on over to our opponent. Probably gonna be a pretty slow start here. Opponent, for what it is worth, is on a very, very greedy 5-color deck. Probably the greediest deck in the field. Our sideboard is relevant because of what our opponent is on as well. So just something worth being mindful of. Evaldi is the pickup for draw there. Let's lead on Evelyn Snakewood here and just pass. And I could see, you know, if our opponent doesn't develop anything, I could see just chunking in with Evelyn for 2 and developing Lost Resistor here on our next turn. Kaleidoscape as play for turn. So it's going to make this go from just a forest and an island to 3 land types. I'm expecting, yeah, white here, plains. And they develop a Ephemeral Mire. So probably going to be getting in here with the Evelyn. Vibrant Vengeance, not very good here. Don't really want to blow Evelyn up by any means. We could, in theory, go for Lion's Charisma, the Bacillo aura, but that is kind of bad where we're at right now just because, you know, Bacillo, the aura would be the only enchantment we have. I think I am in on just playing this Coalesced Cliff and going to combat. Just chip away for 2, main 2, Lost Resistor. So, big things to be worried about out of our opponent. One thing that we can take advantage of is they're very creature light. They have Stoic Sentinel, Wall of Mysteries, Alrontan Visionary, Judge, Jury, and Executioner, Tugay, Death Spinner, and the First Stream. Abominable Avalanche is very brutal here, though. Ugh. We do gain 1 from the Lost Resistor dying, but that is a pretty rough beat there. Tenacious Snapvines is the pickup here. We could be in on just running out of Valdi here. Awkward that we're missing a land drop now. Yeah, I'm going to run out of Valdi. Opponent taps 2. What could be coming down here? Could be going for a Manifest the Light Veins. Suffer Vile Retribution. Yeah. Rough. Luxurious Estate is the pickup for turn. I'm going to shock this in and then tap it for a white and then go for Bacillo. Good to develop the ward threat through our opponent having used an edict. Gate of Realms is going to be an existential problem for us. This will eventually just run us over. I would not mind picking up an untapped land here and then just going swing Bacillo into Vibrant Vengeance. Bacillo goes down to 2 toughness but survives, and then is going to be a 4/4 on future turns. Because we'll get to attack with Bacillo, bless him, and then untap with him, go for Tenacious Snapvines. Notably, our opponent had also missed a land drop, so got the Titan Stairs off of Gate of Realms. Possible to assume that they are also not drawing lands at the moment. We miss on a land as well, but it is a Data Weaver for the pickup here, so I am game to cast this Data Weaver. Target my opponent's library, getting a Beloved Chapel and a Sanctus Remnant. I'm going to toggle normal untapping and attach both to the Data Weaver. And I think I'm going to play the Beloved Chapel tapped as land for turn, and then we can play the Sanctus Remnant next turn. Go for, Vibrant Vengeance plus Symbol of the Revolution afterwards, maybe. Go to combat, swing Bacillo. So we're going to unattach Bacillo here. Gain 3. And we'll just ship on back. Hitting two lands there was really nice because we knew that our opponent was potentially in a bit of trouble with trying to develop mana. Um, could they be paying 5 to just? Oh my god, no, yeah, no. They played Carsey Spine tapped, and they're just gonna wipe the world clean. So we lose both of our creatures here. Um, Sanctus Remnant does stay exiled though. We pick up a Queen and Darley the Fierce. I think I'm in on just Vibrant Vengeancing here, because that gives us a lot of mana to work with on future turns. So we can go, Tenacious Snapvines, X is 8, and that's just a nightmare of a problem for our opponent. How much is Suffer Vile? If they hit another land drop this turn, I would not necessarily be in on that. Amaret is terrifying. That is a real problem. Oof. We'll draw a Coalesced Mesa here. I think I'm in on going for Queen and Darley. Spend the white on Symbol of the Revolution. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. X equals 7. Of up to Death Touch, Lifelink, Vigilance, Trample, Menace, Reach, or Ward 2. That is all 7 keywords. So we're going to do set counters to 7 green, set annotation to DTLL, Fidge, Tramp, Men, Reach, Ward. So it's going to be 10-7. And we will pass. And the nice thing about where we're at right now, we have just 12 mana to pump into the Symbol of the Revolution next turn, and that's clocking them for 12. And them attempting they can't deal with it with Emeret, actually, because Emeret attempting to target Symbol would not happen because Endarli is giving a Symbol protection from mana value 3 or greater. So the only thing Emeret can shoot right now is Queen Endarli. And that's true of Gate of Realms as well. They could Emeret shoot Queen Endarli into Gate of Realms, shoot Symbol of the Revolution, or vice versa. But I don't know how good of a plan that is for our opponent. Wow, they are just -4ing. Gaining 4. Interesting. What is my opponent planning to do here? Swinging the Cleric. I'm going to just block with the Queen and Darley here. Yeah, they just lose the Cleric because this is first strike. I'm not sure what the plan was behind that. There's something going on here. That is for sure. Get your wish. 2 colors among permanents right now, so they can get anything mana value 2. Suffer Vile Retribution is already gone. They can get Manifest Light Veins, Research Grant, Stella's Journal. They can get any non-creature, actually. But the things they can cast are pretty few and far between, especially with only 2 mana up. They could get Coup d'etat, but right now that's not really saving them at all. They're getting Coup d'etat. So they've got a plan for next turn, but I think they're just dead because of the choices they made this turn. Because they don't have the mana for... They have 2 mana up, and there's really no 2 mana spells they can play right now that get them out of this, besides, you know, Suffer Vile Retribution picking off one thing, but that's not going to really cut it. Oh, actually, yeah, they can cast Coup d'etat because of Kaleidoscape. Yep, that is true. I missed the Kaleidoscape. That does in fact get it. 2 mana, Wall of Mysteries. You're going to draw Weaving of the World. Tap for green, green, and colorless, colorless for the Weaving. It's going to start thinning our library out a little bit. Let's go for a forest first here. And then we'll play it as land for turn. Go to combat and just ship in. Opponent takes the 10. And then we gain 10. And then that's the turn. Hopefully, thinning our deck of lands will make it a little more likely we draw a spell. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 10 lands, 14 spells left in the deck. No real play out of the graveyard. If our opponent hits an untapped land, they can blow us out pretty hard by flashing back Suffer Vile Retribution. A very interesting line of choices, though, from our opponent. Choosing to attack there, I think, was kind of pointless, because if you're going to get Coup d'etat, you might as well get the Coup d'etat, cast it, and then go for the Wall of Mysteries afterwards, because then you get to Abominable Avalanche, exile... Or no, they just missed the Abominable Avalanche at end step, rather. So they had the opportunity to make the 3/3, but just simply chose not to. Wonder if they forgot. It's possible with 5 cards in hand, they're just forgetting about anything that might be in their graveyard in general, which makes it possible that... Well, they probably would have snapped off a land drop for turn if they had something to do with the Suffer Vile Retribution in graveyard. So Aurora Expand, we'll put them to the mana for it next turn. Opponent only on 3 basics, by the way. Kind of crazy that they're on 3 basics with Aurora Expand. They'll gain 2. Oh, actually, one other thing to notice as far as Suffer Vile Retribution goes, they are currently on 2 lands. Or on, sorry, only one black source among their lands, so they can't currently Suffer Vile Retribution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can Gate of Realms me, but that's not really going to matter too much. We'll untap. Draw. Vengeful Ice Mage is going to do it here. We will view library. Go find a plains. Yeah, we can even flicker the Vengeful Ice Mage to pick off any other blockers. And we can flicker it in response to like a Gate of Realms per se. So we can pay white, white, and black, black for the Vengeful Ice Mage. Very interesting choice from our opponents to go in on the Coup d'etat line, but it just really didn't check the Tenacious Snapvines at all. So moving forward here, Binding Whisper not going to be good here. Crafty Informant could be interesting. Doesn't really matter. Actually, no, Crafty Informant's pretty bad. Only cares about creatures. We could go Florina or Ozonwood Huntsman. So these are things we could consider playing. We could also consider All Is Dust. How many colorless sources do we have for Embrace the Unnatural? We've got Luxurious Estate. 2 coalesced lands, potentially Emgara, potentially Carcinel. We did end up with it there. Opponent asks us to hang on for a moment. Don't think we could start anyways. Opponent has 2 also readied up for us to be starting, but we are also still making deck building changes. I think we can take out Bringer of Heliod's Light. That is a very, very dependent on our opponent having creatures. Although maybe we just want it for the sake of having a 3/1 flyer. Nah, Florina I think is just a little bit better. And then Ozenwood Huntsman. Oh, fixing a deck list thing. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what. They have a card called Deceiver's Gift, which is 1 a blue and a black, counter target spell, or strategic planning. Look at the top 3, put 1 into your hand, rest into graveyard. They accidentally put 1 in their main deck and 1 in their sideboard. I pointed it out to the tournament organizers. Safe to assume that the 1 in sideboard was a mistake, considering their deck was at exactly 40 cards main deck. But definitely caught me off guard when I was looking through deck lists yesterday. So are we playing the Ozenwood Huntsman over anything? It does allow us to spiral pretty hard, notably. You know, if this thing goes unchecked, it does let us start hitting for more and more damage. I like Rulha, I like Silversong Ancient, I like Stoic Sentinel, Survivors, Symbol, Snapvines, Vengeful Ice Mage proved to be pretty critical there. And I still like it as a mana outlet. Same with all of these. I could be down Kaineos, actually. That's hard. Hard to say for sure. It's either Kaineos or Alcadia. I think especially if we're going down Bringer, we only have so many Kaineos hits. I'm gonna go down to Kaineos. That feels a little sketchy. I think I could totally justify keeping Kaineos, but yep. Opponent confirms they are playing. We have a lot more lands in our hand this time around, but we also have Weaving of the World and Alcadia. I'm game for this. We get to go Buried Colossus into Carcinel into Dormant's Temple Alcadia. And then the following turn, we can play Plains, Weaving of the World, and the tapped Luxurious Estate. They lead on Titan Stairs. We draw Silversong Ancient. Great thing to ramp up to with Weaving. And especially against an opponent who is so dependent on different colors of mana, having something that just gets to blow up a non-creature permanent and is resilient to damage-based removal. Sanctus Remnant going to waste one of their lands. They decide to waste the Titan Stairs, getting rid of their red source. They do go for Stoic Sentinel, so could potentially drop a 4-drop next turn. A little scary. Like Stoic Sentinel is, in my opinion, their best thing to do on 2 mana in their deck. They can go for Amaret next turn. They can go for Aurora Expand next turn. Some pretty devastating things they can hit us with. We will untap and draw, hit a Coalesced Mesa, and just run out Carcinel tapped. And pass. They bind a Methrin Waste and Safe and Sound. So, notably, as far as their number of black sources, that is one of 5 black sources they have, and they did find one with Ephemeral Mire. And casting Laurentine Visionary is pretty good here. Happy to see Suffer and Judge, Jury, Executioner going here. Though, of course, Laurentine Visionary is going to help them cast some of those things. They'll untap and draw. Drift Off is pretty nice here, especially with so much mana to develop. Let's go for Dormant Temple, taking 1 for Alcadia. First time I've ever cast Alcadia, honestly. This is a card I thought was really intriguing, but just kind of hard to work with. She transforms for 9 mana into the Omnithority, which is an indestructible artifact. Whenever a player attacks with 2 or more creatures, you draw a card and create a treasure token. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, create a 1/1 cyborg, then put a counter on each cyborg you control. They're just going to downtick Amaret and kill Alcadia here. Pretty understandable, quite honestly. And we're now in a bit of a rough spot. Could look at drifting off Amaret here. We will draw the Explore, develop the Plains, take 1 off of Dormant Temple, and go for Weaving of the World. Throw a counter on the Weaving, and let's go find our second black source. Let's go find a swamp. And play Luxurious Estate tapped. They do get their 5th land. Could see that being them thinking about potentially casting Research Grant. Okay, they're just choosing to uptick Amaret first before doing anything else. Should check their sideboard. They do have some creatures that are kind of scary in their sideboard. The nice thing about their deck being 5 colors is anything in their sideboard is playable in theory. They do have some like double blue and triple blue things that I doubt are really going to be coming up. And like they also have Embrace the Unnatural, which I do not think is going to be coming up in this matchup, or really ever for them. But they do have Wilderkin Behemoth, which is a real problem. Are they just hitting us for 5? Yeah, by all means hit us for 5. Gate of Realms is going to be a bit of a problem. So that is going to put them to their 6th land name as they get this. And they're not going to want to get a basic because Aurora Expand currently only finds their 2 remaining basics. And if they can find an Aurora Expand, I imagine they want to maximize the value off of that. For what it's worth, though, I am very game to untap here, go find a land, and then just drop like Swamp Forest, Silversong Ancient, kill Amaret. They get Gloomcover Step to get their second black source. Oh, they meant to play something else. Okay, they're playing Wall of Mysteries. One other thing that we could do with Silversong Ancient actually here is we could Silversong Ancient blow up. They just got Gloomcover Step, which is a white-black source. So let's blow up Kythar, take them off of red. And then next turn, the following turn, we can just drift off, take off both of these big problematic permanents at once. So we untap. We draw another land. Weaving ticks up. We go find a forest. We play forest. We play swamp. Tap 7. Silversong Ancient. Destroy target non-creature permanent. So they do develop the Heart of the Glade. Oh, sorry, it just occurred to me. I believe... no, they did get Gloomcover Step off of the Gate of Realms, so they had the Heart of the Glade in hand already. So they make token and just pass. We untap and draw. Main 1, we are going to gain 7. If we go for Drift Off and they have a counter spell, that's pretty rough for us. But I'm not sure what else we really have the option to do. So I think we just have to fire it off, and if they have the counterspell, they have the counterspell. They have Deceiver's Gift is the only counterspell in their deck, but they could also get Your Wish. So they have two cards that could potentially be in their hand. Sorry, no, they have to have Deceiver's Gift. No, they don't have blue-black for Deceiver's Gift because we took them off of the blue-red land, and because we took them off the blue-red land, they can't represent Get Your Wish either. So yeah, this is a guaranteed Drift Off resolving. Let's play the Swamp here. Go for white, white. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drift Off. Opponent says okay, but we know for a fact that they don't have a choice. I imagine our opponent's just going to respond to this original Drift Off by using Gate of Realms to just shoot us for 3. This is part of why we do this in this order, is so that way we can play the Stoic Sentinel afterwards. Also notably, we have 7 Devotion for Buried Colossus. This is only going to cost 1 to animate us for us next turn with Stoic Sentinel in play. Oh wow, they don't respond. There's nothing else in their deck that they could have up, right? Wildkin Imposter. Ooh, they could have Wildkin Imposter. They can't multitude it, but they could flash in Wildkin Imposter as a copy of Silversong Ancient, which is kind of scary. Can't be holding up Divine Mishap. Yeah, so they could have Wildkin Imposter. That is something we do have to be kind of cognizant of. Survivors of the New World is just great. We're going to bin this Dormant Temple, keep Survivors on top, and pass. 5 mana. Oh, 2-gate Death Spinner. Didn't even see it coming. I completely forgot about this. That is actually going to prey on our Silversong Ancient pretty effectively. If they have removal for it, they tap 6. Oh, Suffer Vile Retribution as a 5/5 demon. Yeah. Goodbye to Stoic Sentinel. So they get to make a 5/5 demon, and they get to make the spider. Oh, and us keeping the survivors is actually really awkward with 2-gate Death Spinner in particular, because this thing is just going to get to shut off those death triggers, and when our 1/1s die, they're just going to get a bunch of 1/2s, which is just devastating. We'll untap and draw the survivors nonetheless. Colorless and green for Explorer. We find a Queen and Darley. That's not too shabby. So we'll go for the Queen and Darley here. We'll play Coalesced Mesa. And we will just pass. One nice thing is we do have the Buried Colossus here, ready to ambush them at a moment's notice. Their Ephemeral Mire is being reduced by 3 because Suffer Vile, or sorry, by 2 because the Suffer, I believe, does count for 1 devotion now that it is a creature. Could they have anything to blow up our enchantments? Pay 2 life for Shocking in Clearwater Grotto. 7 mana, 8 mana. Oh, is this the first dream? Oh my god, it's happening. So, opponents play with cards they own from outside the game revealed. So let's go ahead and reveal our sideboard. I don't know how to show them what we've got here. Oh, actually, they know what we have in our sideboard. Well, they don't necessarily know because we've got Bringer and Kaineos in the sideboard right now. So here's what we're gonna do. Toggle normal untapping. Then I'm just gonna create a token. Just a little thing indicating what is in our board here. This is bad. This is very bad for us. Opponent taps Stoic Sentinel here. What are they getting? They will play the Binding Whisperer. Yep, that will tap down Silversong Ancient. They're swinging. Oh my god, they're swinging in with the 2-gate Death Spinner. So we take out the 2-gate Death Spinner. We do now have Silversong Ancient up. We find Valdi. Not going to be good enough on its own. We will untap, draw. That's not going to do it either. We kind of needed to hit Glauna and be able to Glauna first stream here. Okay, so one saving grace here is if they go for Bringer of Heliod's Light, then they only get to enchant Silversong Ancient. Because Queen and Darley prevents it from hitting anything else. All is Dust is really bad for them. Oh, actually, it's not necessarily very bad for them because it frees up their Amoret. Ooh. There is a consideration here, a really bad one, but there is a consideration that, like, next game, we just board everything in so First Dream doesn't draw them, draw them 11 cards. That's a really bad plan, but it's something we could do next game. I'm a little pinched, though. This is really rough. Well, we can go for the Survivors of the New World, at least. There is a perfect ideal world here where they just go Bringer of Heliod's Light, can only put it on the Queen and Darley, and then we get to go they like swing out First Dream and some other things. We get to go Buried Colossus Animate, block with the 8/8 and the 7/7 in front of the 13/13. Neither die because of Andarli. that's the goal here. But we know that they've got stuff in their sideboard that can be pretty rough here. So we're just going to have to hope that our opponent makes a misplay. That's kind of where we're at right now. Also, it dawned on me after the fact. I was talking about them not being able to hold up Deceiver's Gift. They had 2 mana dorks. They had 2 mana dorks, so they absolutely were holding up. They're gonna play Patisserie as their land for turn. Yeah, I suppose it does give them the second colorless for Embrace the Unnatural. Choosing not to make the food, so makes me suspect that they're looking to cast on Embrace here. Notably, Ephemeral Mire is free to animate. Like, as it stands, Ephemeral Mire kills us in 3 turns. Let me just make sure I'm not going to get got by something stupid. Oh, are they going to start staring at our deck, trying to figure something else out? I wonder if they're looking to play All Is Dust. I think, knowing what's in their sideboard, knowing what's in our sideboard, All Is Dust is just very brutal for us because it resets they lose more than we do in theory, but they get back Amaret and Gate of Realms, which is Gate with 8 different unique land names, able to go get a 9th. They can do it without having to tap more than 5 lands. Thanks to Elronton Visionary and Stoic Sentinel. And if they go for the All Is Dust, then they get to, Amaret uptick, clock us down to 8, have a 5 loyalty Amaret, Gate of Realms shoot, take us to 5. They're going to cast Smiling Sludge? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're gonna All Is Dust and kill us with our Smiling Sludge. Yeah, they have exactly 9 permanents with any colors. They sacrifice all nine Smiling Sludge triggers pointed at us. That is the style points. I just want to make sure they're cool with just me scooping instead of them playing it out. Oh, that is devastating. Okay, so I have to board in the All Dust. I can't let them have All His Dust. We're gonna still play Florina. I don't. Here's the thing: we now cannot board out Bringer because I don't want to give them Bringer. I don't want to give them removal. All right. Could cut the Defile the Silver Court maybe. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go down the Kaineos for the All Is Dust still, but I'm not gonna do the Ozone Wood Huntsman. I'm not gonna do the Florina. We double Pain Lands, no black sources, Glauna Snapvines. Gotta mull this. Bacillo being the only castable spell is not great. Oh, not again. Again? 3 green cards, no green sources? I'm going to keep this and just put Snapvines on bottom. Opponent also keeping 6 at least. We're just going to lead on Swamp and pass. Hope to find the green source for Evelyn on 2. Come on. Glauna. All right. Plains and pass. We can go Glauna on 3 and just make a 2-1. Not the best thing in the world, but it's an option. They shock in Clearwater Grotto for Research Grant. They take 1, bin Wall of Mysteries Island. We get the Forest. I think we still go Dormant Temple for Glauna, but with the knowledge that we have some flexibility going into the following turn. Alrighty, so they have... Oh, no, Abominable Avalanche perfectly cleaning it up. Oh, devastating once again. Perfect Abominable Avalanches on curve for our opponent, both of the games that they find it. That's pretty rough. We find Luxurious Estate. We'll play Forest. Vivaldi. Shock in Estate. Pay more 2 more life for Evelyn Snakewood. And pass. They've got Dormant Altar here, gives them their 4th color of mana. We do have 5 power on board. That's not nothing. But 5 cards in hand versus 1 is really awkward. Ooh, coup d'etat flipping Evaldi. They already got their life, so yeah. Kills both of these. That's rough. We untap and draw. I think I'm just going to crack this Dormant Temple. I'm going to use Plains. Crack Dormant Temple to draw. Find a Carcinel. Taking a quick moment to verify what the backside of this does. Put a counter on a creature you control. It gains trample until end of turn. So we can play Carcinel, take 1 off of Luxurious Estate, and just get Vengeful Ice Mage up. It's not great. Ice Mage, no creatures in play. It's rough. I think this is just over. Opponent is thinking. It's a good sign. If our opponent isn't sure of what to do here, then that is a benefit to us. But I suspect it could just be our opponent debating how they want to completely take us out of this game. Yep, Manifest is pretty good. Tapping 3 for Stella's Journal. X is 3. So it's reduced by 5. Tap Titan Stairs, Dormant Altar. So they have the ability to do Journal X's 3, but they need to tap the Dormant Peak to do so. All right, they caught it. I need to check something with a judge potentially because I think Vengeful Ice Mage can flicker away the Dormant Altar. I don't think it exiles the Dormant. I think so. I can target it because it's a creature. Okay, they got the Yeti. They draw a card. We untap. We draw Stoic Sentinel. Pay green and colorless for the Stoic Sentinel. Top 2. Coalesced Mesa and Queen and Darley. I think we're good just binning both of those right now. Those are not what we need to win this game. Gonna play Heart of the Glade and hold up both the Vengeful Ice Mage activation and the Carcinel activation because both of those are at instant speed. You get some nice value here on being able to, say, block the Dormant Altar with Vengeful Ice Mage, and then, not that they would make that attack, but we could do, like, in response to removal, flicker with Vengeful Ice Mage, and then Ice Mage comes back, exile the Yeti. That's my intent. My intent here is end step, exile Vengeful Ice Mage with its own ability, and then take away the Yeti here. Could have had an opportunity, actually, to instead go to combat on their turn, swing the Yeti, or swing the Ice Mage, rather. And then Ice Mage, if it gets blocked by the Yeti, we just pump it with Carcinel, kill the Yeti, trample over for 1. That might have been better, because then we get to hold up the Ice Mage tech, but we can just... I guess we don't get to block with the Ice Mage if that opportunity would have arisen otherwise. But yeah, the whole, like, exiling Dormant Altar to get rid of the Manifest the Light Veins is the ideal thing we would want to do, but we can't quite do it. Calamity Smith is pretty strong here. So, upticking to make a gold here does not shock me. They play Kythar and draw a card. And we're going to pick off the Yeti. We will untap and draw. Very much in a rough spot right now. Swing at the Calamity Smith here. I'm going to hold this forest right now. Oh, yep, they just let Calamity go. Kind of surprised, because Calamity does represent the ability to clear our board at some point, or just represent a ton of mana. One thing that does just occur to me, they are now sitting on enough mana to cast the first stream. I'm probably going to concede if they just hit the first stream. I'll wait to see what my draw is, because if my draw is exactly Allah's Dust, then I can Allah's Dust the first stream, and that'd be pretty amazing. But barring that, they tap 3 and use the treasure for Judge, Jury, Executioner. So they've got 3 colors among things. We say K. JJE is going to assumably attempt to hit that. We're going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, and just flicker it away. They say okay. We will do the Surveil 2. Bringer of Heliod's Light is pretty nice. You can hit that JJE with it. Definitely binning the swamp right now. And I think I'm cool to just draw the Bringer. We take 2. Just clarifying that Altar should be untapped because it is a vigilant creature. All right. We'll untap and draw the Bringer. Yeah, and on end step they draw off of the Stella's Journal. So we're going to go white, white, colorless, colorless, Bringer of Heliod's Light. They are thinking. If they have the spell that disrupts this, that's pretty bad. We get the okay. Attempting to bless the Judge, Jury, Executioner. We're going to unattach this real quick. Alrighty. So, Judge, Jury, Executioner can't attack or block. We've got a flyer here. I think I'm cool just swinging in with the Vengeful Ice Mage, seeing if it connects. They take 3. Oh. Oh, they're thinking. They might have a trick here. Might not have been wise to swing with the Ice Mage without the mana to protect it, but if they have a trick, they have a trick, and that's the Ice Mage being around isn't going to change that. Okay, so they take the 3, and we're just going to pass from there. Continuing to hold this forest because no point developing it when if we draw something that would require the land, we wouldn't. If we draw something that requires 8 mana, we wouldn't have the 8th land to develop that anyways. But also, our deck curves out at 7 with the Ancient. So definitely a slugfest here. Some things we could definitely appreciate drawing, but also some things that our opponent probably would be thrilled to find. First Dream at any point is just backbreaking, completely and utterly backbreaking. That would be the reason to want to develop this forest and get an 8th land, is so that way we can Vengeful Ice Mage, the Bringer, Vengeful Ice Mage, just flicker itself, and pay the ward 4 to get rid of the First Dream. So they're tapping 3. Tapping 2, 3. Could be Get Your Wish. Yep, Get Your Wish. So they've got 3 colors. So they've got blue with Research Grant and Manifest. Manifest is also green. Judge, Jury, Executioner is also black. Asking what spell, because I suspect they have concluded that. Also, it just dawned on me, they wiped the world clean earlier, and I did not draw a card off of it in game 1. They say thinking, I think they just realized they can't wipe the world clean without using Dormant Altar here. Interesting. They're using this to cast Stoic Sentinel for free. Opponent's going to cast nothing here. Off the Get Your Wish, which essentially just made this 3 mana go search up tutor for next turn. They're going to tap 4, and they're going to wipe the world clean, just hard cast. I have another important thing to note here, opponent. You used Dormant Altar, Dormant Peak, Kythar? Yeah, so they used Dormant Peak, Clearwater Groves, and Kythar. Yeah. Manifest notably makes 2 mana of different colors. Opponent just trying to find a way to take off this board here. Also, I will say, I mentioned being worried that like first stream would mandate me using Vengeful Ice Mage to try and like remove it and then have to pay the ward cost. They're going to go for the Stoic Sentinel. Alrighty. They binned Downtown Theater, kept 1, so they are happy with the card they just drew. We will untap and draw here. Weaving of the World is the draw for turn. Could go ahead and run it out, go find the last 2 basics, so we can keep... Or actually, hold on. Find the last 2 basics. Find 1. We only have the plains left. So Weaving's not doing a whole lot of thinning our deck here. Honestly, not worth running it out. Let's just run out the forest here. And then what we can do is swing the Bringer and the Vengeful Ice Mage, and if they block the Ice Mage, we flicker Ice Mage and take out the Dormant Altar. And then bring up a Judge Call, because when it stops being a creature, does Ice Mage still exile it? I don't believe so, because I believe it stops being a creature, and therefore it's not a target. It's not a valid target for the ability, but... might want to check with the judge just to be safe. Either way, we are going to swing with both of these here. I'm just going to click on block. All right. They're just going to block with the Stoic Sentinel. So we hit them for 3. Stoic Sentinel dies. And we can just take them off of their second white source. Alrighty. White, colorless, black, green. This is going to take Manifest away. They're going to pay 1 with the Dormant Peak here. Oh, they're going to crack their Dormant Peak. Oh, that's a really nice synergy. They don't lose the Dormant Peak because of Manifest, but they still get to draw. That's kind of sweet. Well, we took them off of double white anyways, so they need to draw an untapped white source to wipe the world clean. Otherwise, we are threatening 8 to their 9, and we've got Carcinel to make that lethal. If they run out of creature, we can Ice Mage Flicker of Bringer to nullify the creature. We have been holding on by the skin of our teeth. Our opponent has seen 7 more cards than us thanks to the Stella's Journal and the Research Grant. They have some game here. We know they've got good removal spells left in their deck. Dreamfall. Oh, and they have the Sanctus Remnant. Board wipe. We are going to exile the Swamp from Graveyard. So we're going to get a Surveil 2 before we lose everything to the Dreamfall. View top 2. Plains Revolutionary class. I think we've just got to say goodbye to Revolutionary class here. Can't afford to draw that, which means Weaving the World no longer finds any lands. And we're now even in an even worse spot. This is also a dead opponent. Yeah, there we go. Profoundly sketchy situation now. We untap, we draw the Drift Off just far too late. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna cast this Weaving of the World. Fail to find. Not going great, folks. We're not exactly out of it yet, but things could definitely be better. Opponent taps 4, 5, animates Titan Stairs. Sorry, taps 4, animates Titan Stairs. We take 2. Well, they've got something of a clock. 2 lands that both animate for 4. We untap and draw. Lost Resistor is pretty big here. Shuffle, fail to find. I do have to shuffle because it is a mandatory search. Lost Resistor. And then I'm just going to pay X's 2. So they can wipe the world clean, but we do get to draw a card off that if they do. All right. So they're going to wipe the world clean. We're going to gain 3. Finding a survivors of the New World is pretty big here. Opponent taps 2, 3. Undoes that. Baiting what they want to do. Notably, Data Weaver would be just like such a great hit here because we could put them into a really sketchy spot of running out of cards. We untap, we draw. Bacillo is also pretty nice. I'm in on, so Weaving goes away, we gain 7, back up to 20. We can go green, white, 1, 2, survivors. Oh, no, do not tell me you have the counter spell. You have the Deceiver's Gift. All right. Well, 1, 2, 3, Bacillo. Kaleidoscape on their island. They are getting low. And their one counterspell is gone. All 3 of their board wipes are gone. I forgot they hit 3 board wipes. Oh yeah, and then they just flipped progress, so they get to copy whatever spell they cast here. Gate of Realms, which they're casting 2 copies of, or casting a copy of off of progress. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is going to be 2 Gate of Realms that just get to activate for free. Go get 2 lands. Okay, yeah, they're not even getting lands. They're just deciding they don't want anything out of their deck. So they kill Bacillo with the 1 gate, and I'm assuming they're just going to hold the other gate for killing whatever we play here. Miasmic Cove is not the most amazing thing in the world, but it's something. I'll play the Cove. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. In theory, it would be optimal to have the main drift off hit the token, but my one way of picking up drift off is gone. Alrighty. Not in a great spot, but my opponent is still under the impetus of having to kill me before they run out of cards. I don't think that will be a difficult task. Oh yeah, they do have a basic swamp because of Kaleidoscape. They are tapping 4 to animate Ephemeral Mire and tapping 4 to animate Titan Stairs. Just going to clock us for 5 here. We're going to take 5. And unfortunately, these are the only 2 that we could not possibly block, which is real awkward. We untap, we draw, hitting another land. We will play that land. Use Forest to crack it and draw a card. Data Weaver's big. Some big, big things we could hit here. Wildkin Imposter, Suffer Vile Retribution. We're going to toggle normal untapping here. We're going to attach Wildkin Imposter to the Drift Off token, Suffer Vile Retribution. We will attach to the Drift Off token. And I think we just Wildkin Imposter now. We hit first dream. Oh, that's so big. So we could have waited and tried to Multitude the Wildkin Imposter, take 4 cards out of their deck. But right now, because they're on such a critical impetus to try and murder us as quickly as possible, they just have to get somewhere. This does not miracle cure our dilemma here. So let's toggle normal untapping, attach this to Drift Off, attach this to the Drift Off token, and pass. So they still hit us for 5 every turn. Not stellar, but we took away their scariest potential draw here. Because First Dream would just, like, one-shot us. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hitting Suffer Vile Retribution was also pretty big. So they hit us for 5. We animate Miasmic Cove, hit them for 6. And if they try and swing, we kill them. We untap. We draw Explorer. I'm just going to go to combat and swing with these now. Main 2. Elbow tap, cast your First Dream. This is crazy. So they have... they boarded out the Safe and Sound. And they exile the Deceiver's Gift because they should not have that in sideboard. Interesting. I just want to make sure, like, they have nothing that just kills me over the top, right? Oh, no. They have a 1 in 3 to draw Amaret here, unless they already have it in hand. Oh, no. They could have Amaret and just win. So I need Amaret to be one of their bottom 2 cards. We will unattach this and just play it as our land for turn. Toggle normal untapping. And we're using our each of our Data Weavers to play 1 card. Okay. If they have... If this skirted the colored mana cost requirements, we could have been able to hold up white mana. No, you know what we do here? I misplayed horrendously. We play this untapped, and we hold up a white for Binding Whisper. Tap whatever they attack with or whatever they animate. We can tap their Ephemeral Mire. Oh no, I really hope they don't have Amaret here. I mean, in theory, they have Amaret, uh, Domus for 4, and then just Titan Stairs goes the distance. So if they have Amaret, we're just dead. Come on. Come on. We need it to be in their bottom two. Actually, with Dormant Peak, we need it to be their last card. Amaret last card one time. Come on, come on, come on. Crack that Dormant Peak and still have nothing. Show me you got nothing. I am regretting not being able to go for Wildkin Imposter Myriad there, or not Myriad, Multitude, because we would have just had the game over at this point if we had the Multitude. But you know, we were under threat of death this turn, so part of me feels like if they had the Amaret, they would have gone for it that last turn. Because developing the Amaret is pretty big, and I don't think it would have stopped them from attacking, because they had 3 mana up. Amaret contributes 2 devotion to animating the Titan Stairs. So if they had the Amaret, they would have gone for it. That's my theory. So there's no world where they double blue, where they go for animating both creatures, but don't go for the Amaret. Math is required. Ugh. They are moving lands to count some things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They say, okay, I think we've got it. If we could have had more lands developed, getting extravagant patisserie tapped and making a food would have been nice as well. But opponent tapping for 5. Sinking of a Lantin. What? Oh. Sinking of a Lantin, draw Amaret. Second to last. So Amaret was in bottom 2. But yeah, they go for Amaret here. Oh, heartbreaking. Amaret Hope of Night. -4. They can't pay for Titan Stairs now. Oh. Oh, So because we did not get the untapped land, uh, that is just all sorts of heartbreaking. We almost had it through our opponent drawing their entire library. Yeah, they animate Titan Stairs and kill us. That is beyond heartbreaking. Well, that was a match. Crazy, crazy match. Uh Dang. All right, opponent takes it in 3. I will be entirely honest. Because the stakes are so low, there's no top cut. So it's just whoever goes undefeated by the end of Swiss rounds. I'm leaning towards not playing out the rest of the rounds. I just have a lot of other things going on, and want to be conscientious of my own time and my time investment. It is why I participated in 5 out of 7 drafts. I had the opportunity to participate in the other 2 drafts, but opted out of participating in them just for my own well-being, trying to make sure that I have other things being taken care of. And in that same respect, I think I'm going to opt out of uh, playing future rounds, barring pairing into somebody who won this round. One of the actually. No, I think I am gonna drop here because if I get into next round and I get into somebody who is already having won a round, all that round essentially presents the opportunity for is for me to have the chance to prevent them from winning. So I would rather just not be in the tournament to not risk running up into somebody who is uh, going through the tournament still. Because ultimately the stakes here are just you get to promo a card from your deck. There is no getting to like qualify for worlds or anything, so it is very very low stakes. So I'm just gonna call it there. Not play out the rest of the rounds, and focus on other things. Getting ready for April, for instance, because there are a lot of things. So I've heard coming in April and lots of things to look forward to. So thank you so much for tuning into that absolute grind fest of a match. Clearly it started to get the better of me because I had the way of surviving that turn and even said it out loud. But I did not want to ask my opponent if I could go back and change the order of these spells that I'd played. Namely because I did not have the information of what was in their sideboard because I didn't know what they had boarded out. But yeah, just an unfortunate sequence of events. Poor sequencing on the final turn there, really costing me a very narrow nail biter and very well navigated by my opponent. And I got very lucky in that last game on a lot of facets, but at the same time, so did my opponent. Those opening turns were gut wrenching. So rough beats. Bummer to not get to go forward with this deck. Bummer to not get to try out any of the other decks that I drafted as well, but it's just the nature of a tournament like this. So, if you are competing in the Curators Cube tournament, I hope you are having fun with your decks and your games, as well as having had fun with the draft. And if not, stay tuned because the round 4 of the GP is currently on underway, and finals should be within a week or so, roughly. So, should be the finals video coming soon, and then the April patch notes and April variant format videos on the way after that. Take care, everybody, and I will see you in the Revolution chat.